Okay, good morning, everyone. I call the Drainage District Board of Directors meeting to order. May I have a roll call, please?
David Fuentes, Precinct 1.
Ellie.
Good morning, Eli Torres, Precinct 4.
Richard Cortez, County Judge. There's three of us. That constitutes a quorum.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Osin, will you please lead us in prayer?
I sure will. Thank you. Thank you very much, Judge. Let us pray. Father God, again, we give you thanks for another day that you've given us, Lord. Thank you for the opportunity you allow us to come serve, Lord. We continue to pray for our county, Lord. We continue to pray for all our leadership. We continue especially to pray for our judge and our 4 commissioners, Lord. We lift them up to you, Lord. We continue to pray for your wisdom upon them, Lord, your insight, and more importantly, your peace, Lord, as they continue to make the decisions that affect us all, Lord. We continue to pray for guidance for myself, Lord, your wisdom for myself, for all the workers of our great county that we serve, Lord. May we just continue to work as we're working for you, Lord. We lift up all those that are battling the illnesses as well, Lord. Comfort them, be with them, Lord. Help us provide as well, Lord. I ask this in your Son, Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Have anybody signed up for open forum?
No, sir.
Okay. Then we'll go into the approval of the consent agenda.
Just a standard check register, sir. There's no other items. Everything's in order.
Okay. May I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, sir. Item 5A, budget process. Item 1, second public hearing to discuss 2019 proposed tax rate.
Okay, I hereby call the public hearing to discuss the 2019 proposed tax rate for the Drainage District. Anyone here to address us regarding our tax rate? I'm sure everybody wants it higher, but that's okay. Okay. Well, hearing none, that concludes our public hearing.
Thank you, Judge. If I may, items 2, set date, time, and place to adopt district's 2019 tax rate, and item 3, set date, time, and place to adopt the district's 2020 annual budget. That date would be September 24th at 1:30 p.m. here at Commissioner's Court, which is, what is the address here?
100 East Condo.
100 East Condo, first floor. Yes, sir. To set that time and date, please.
Move to approve with that date and time.
May I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you very much. Item B. Thank you, Paul. Discuss consideration authorization for Drainage District General Manager and Board Member David Fuentes to submit comments to Texas Commission on Environmental Quality regarding Restore Act Bucket 2 funding. This is an opportunity that we have to pursue Bucket 2 funding for the Restore Act. As the board's aware, we're pursuing, or we're almost there to receive Bucket 1 funding, which is primarily was focused on economic development. The Bucket 2 is going to be primarily focused on environmental impact, clean water, things of that nature. So we're going to try to pursue our other project that we have also in Hidalgo County, our regional project, which is our Delta Water Regional Management Project, which deals with cleaning water and so forth, recycling water and things of that nature to clean the water as it's getting to the coast. So we feel that that's going to be a project that I think we could pursue or push for to get on the list. So, we're going to be focusing on that. We want to see if the board would grant myself and Commissioner Fuentes, I guess, the authority to issue similar comments that we did on the Water Development Board stormwater, or excuse me, drainage plan that they had. Similar with Commissioner Torres as well issued comments. So similar effect.
May I have a motion to approve that they be authorized to give that
So moved.
comments? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
When opposed, motion carries.
Thank you very much. Item C, requesting approval to enter in a 12-month extended maintenance agreement with Syntec Systems, Inc. for the Fuel Master Fuel Management System, hardware and software through district's membership by board contract number 59019, subject to House Bill 1295.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Item D, requesting authority to advertise and approval of RFP packet, i.e. legal notice specifications, draft contracts, etc., as attached here to for Hidalgo County Drainage District number 1, lubricants, antifreeze, grease, hydraulic fluids, and related products, RFP number ACD 1-19-066-1009, including the advertisement of the request for bids. In the event bids are rejected and no bids are received and products are still needed.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Item E, requesting authority to advertise and approve of procurement packet A, legal and social specifications, contracts, et cetera, as attached here too, for Hidalgo County Drainage District Number 1, sale and removal of filled dirt located at West Main Drain 3, south of 5 Mile Lane, between Shoebuck Road and Moorfield Road. RFP number ACDD 1-19-068-1009, including the re-advertisement of the project, and the event bids are rejected, no bids are received, or project is still required.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Item 6A, pursuant to the current construction contract with Moorville LLC, requesting acceptance and approval of a request by contractor to permit the subcontracting of Texas Highway Systems, Inc. in connection with the project Hidalgo Drain Military Road Crossing 2018 bond referendum project number 13, contract number ACDD 1-19-064-0903.
Move for approval.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Item 7, requesting authority to advertise and approval of plan specification developed by Mr. Jose Noe Saldivar from my office for Chaparral Drain Extension Improvements, 60-inch RCP jack and bore, boring Donna Irrigation Crossing, RFP number ACD 1-19-069-1009, including the re-advertising of the project in the event no bids or responses are received and are rejected, and the project is still required.
Move for approval.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Item 8A, requesting exemption for competitive bidding requirements, Texas Local Government Code 262-02487A, items for which competition is precluded because of existence of patent, copyright, secret process, or monopolies in connection with DataWise Environmental Monitoring, Inc. for the DataWise products, software license, updates, upgrades, maintenance, and technical support.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. 8A2, approval of sole source declaration for DataWise Environmental Monitoring Software, Inc. for the purchase of DataWise products, software license, upgrades, updates, maintenance, and technical support with authority to purchase DataWise software upgrade to version 10, license, and support for a period of 1 year and total amount $4,500, and thereafter annually for as long as ACDD1 possesses software with sole source declaration to remain in effect unless otherwise revoked by ACDD1 Board of Directors. This is the software that we need for our rain gauges. It's going to give us real-time information. What we have is a little antiquated. We did a lot of research. Our IT department did, so we feel that this is software that will give us actual reading of prior to the storm, during the storm, after the storm, to be able to report actual amount of rain that we were receiving. Not only that, but we're also looking at our current rain gauges locations and add in other areas in quadrants additional rain gauges, and we'll come to the board later on that, but that will allow us to receive real-time information when rain events come, so we're looking at that web right now.
Is that just for the amount of rainfall or actual flows within the ditch?
Right now, we do have some flow monitoring systems, Commish. We're looking at those. There were some that were down, but we're looking at both. There's a combination. There's a couple of flow monitorings that we have already. We were trying to focus on the rain gauges in some of the western part and central part of the county that we don't have, where we know we've had some issues in the past. But at the same time, we are going to be looking at flow gauges in our main drain, the main facilities that we have, like our east lateral that's up and running now. We need to look at that and see how that is behaving as well. So that'll be forthcoming as well. Yes, sir.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
I do not believe we have any executive session items.
Okay.
We didn't have any pending or potential.
Pending and potential. Not that I'm.
You didn't need 4 people for the budget, or it's not today?
No, the budget is next week.
Gotcha.
Yes, sir. We set already the time and date for the 24th at 1:30.
After your workout.
I think I can make it to 1:30.
1:30. We're good.
Okay, there are no closed items. I believe that concludes our agenda items.
Yes, sir. And we have approximately 16 minutes for our Commissioners' Court.
Next, Commissioner, I have a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We'll be back at 9:30. Okay. I would like to call the Hidalgo County Commissioners Court meeting to order. May I have a roll call, please?
Eddie Cantu, Precinct 2. Joe Flores, Precinct 3.
Eli Torres, Precinct 4.
David Fuentes, Precinct 1.
Richard Cortez, County Judge. That constitutes a quorum. Today, as is customary, we have a veteran give us the Pledge of Allegiance, and today we're honored to have Master Sergeant Agustin Sauceda, Jr. He's a United States Army retired, leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Master Sergeant Sauceda served in the U.S. Army from January 1963 to September 1983 and is a Vietnam veteran. Mr. Sauceda is also a retired JROTC instructor from the Ed Couch Independent School District, and we thank Sergeant for many years of service.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Sergeant.
Thank you.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we give thanks for the democracy alive in our country and for the freedom to worship you. Help our elected government in all positions of power and authority to govern wisely and for the common good of all. Amen. If we can remain standing, September 21st marks the 30th anniversary of that tragic Alton bus crash. And so we're going to have, I'm going to say a few words and then we're going to have a moment of silence. And in memoriam, you can see the names of all of the victims up on the screen. On September 21st, 1989, a group of 81 Mission ISD junior high and high school students riding the bus to school never made it to class that day in one of the deadliest school bus crashes in U.S. history. At about 7:30 a.m. that day, a Dr. Pepper truck heading north on Bryan Road ran a stop sign at 5 Mile Road in Alton and slammed into that Mission ISD bus number 6. The impact forced the bus over an embankment into a water-filled caliche pit. The bus, lying on its side, was completely submerged, killing 20 youths, with the 21st victim passing away at Mission Hospital about a week later. The children killed ranged in age from 12 to 18, and more than 50 others were hospitalized with injuries suffered from that crash. This year marks the 30th anniversary of that horrific day. Today we remember those killed and the surviving children who are now adults, many of whom still bear the scars from that awful, awful day. In memoriam, moment of silence while I read the names, please. In memoriam, Maria Alfaro, Roberto Bazaldua Jr., Margarita Buentelo, Carmen Canales, Elda P. Cruz, Raúl Flores, Elizabeth Flores, Abdan Garcia, Armando Gonzalez, Ruby Lopez, Marta Amelia Lozano, José L. Ortega, Veronica Perez, Yesenia Perez, Roman Quintero, Apolina Regalado, Maria Regalado, Ana Rodriguez, David Sainz, Michael P. Sainz, and Alberto Vasquez. Thank you.
It was indeed a tragic moment in the history of the valley. We ask that we all remember them for their passing. I'd like to consider the approval of the consent agenda.
Judge, Commissioners, with your permission, I'd like to pull from consent agenda items 6A, 8A, and 9A,
And I would like to pull out 9J.
and 9J.
Make a motion to approve the rest of the agenda, consent agenda.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Judge, Commissioners, with respect to consent agenda item 6A, I'd like to make a 1 cent correction. The dollar amount for 6A should read $462,640.77 and not 78 cents.
So moved.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
And for the record, Commissioner Fuentes abstains from any discussion and/or action with respect to consent agenda item 8A.
So moved to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
And consent agenda item 9A was subject to legal review. Legal has given direction, and the purchasing department will be incorporating those changes. So,
And it'll be sent to the vendor for those changes. And so we will not execute, complete and forward that credit application until those changes are made.
Right.
So it's subject to that approval.
Motion approved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
and 9J, Ms. Marty, there is consent agenda item 9J relates to a consultant with respect to
The ACA, which is the Affordable Care Act, we have had this contract in place since 2014, since it became the statutory obligation. It not only tracks it for the HR, for our benefits department, but also does the reporting to the IRS. At one point, Ms. Flora is informing me that we hope to convert that to an in-house, but it has not happened as yet.
Well, that's why I pulled it out, Marty. I mean, 2014, we're paying $48,000 a year.
Yes, sir, we are.
To have somebody track when employees are eligible for benefits and reporting, it would seem to me, go ahead.
Hi, good morning, Laura Vasquez, Employee Benefits. The lobby, we were forced to report to IRS to meet the standards in 2015. Okay, we don't have a tracking system to do this for us. We don't have the personnel, we don't have the tracking system. So what it is this company tracks all those eligibility employees, and then they submit to the IRS, and they also generate a 1095 form to the employees, which is sort of like a like a W-2, yeah.
No, I understand the need and why we're hiring. What I don't understand is we've had this obligations in 2014, we're in 2019.
For 2015, yeah.
Okay.
14 and effective 2015.
Right.
Okay. And if there's something, if they can do it, we can do it. Is that a safe statement, or do we need a consultant for everything we do?
We had,
I'm sorry?
For a in-house tracking system.
no, we have not. There's just a lot of regulations that we would need to abide
Well,
with. and-
but the payroll system that we have in capturing, that doesn't capture this
It does
information?
not capture that
If it's one of the
information.
regulatory things that we have,
It does
usually
not
most
capture,
payroll systems adapt to the new changes.
right. But the one we have currently does not, because we have to report dependent.
So if we were to approve this today and spend another $48,000, do you think there's an end in sight somewhere in the future?
I would think so. We would update our ADO system, our payroll system. If there's a module that captures dependent care, maybe dependent health care.
So who's going to be looking into this so that we can hopefully find a better way to deal with
Tracking.
this?
Okay.
Who's going to be looking into it?
We can. We'll see what we can do with auditor's office and payroll to see if there's that module that could be captured into the ADO system to report dependent health coverage. Because that's basically why we have
Okay.
to bid it out.
And I'm sorry that I'm going through this discussion.
That's okay.
I just get a little frustrated when I think there's something we can do in-house, that we're having to hire consultants, because we just have a lot of consultants in this county. So that tells me that somewhere we need to train you better or equip you with something different than what you have.
That would probably be the system itself.
Okay. So I'll entertain a motion to do whatever you all want to do.
Motion approved.
Is there a second? We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
I think that concludes our consent agenda. Go to item 5A.
Good morning, Judge Commissioners. Julia Sullivan from Public Affairs, presenting for Hidalgo County Judge Richard F. Cortez. Item 5A under County Judge Cortez is a proclamation declaring October 2019 as Manufacturing Month. Whereas for generations, manufacturing has played a critical role in Texas's diverse economy. Texas is home to over 17,500 manufacturing firms, 80 of which are located in Hidalgo County. And whereas manufacturing in Texas constitutes 13.3% of the total output in the state, totaling approximately $247 billion in exports of manufactured goods in 2018. And whereas manufacturers in Texas employ 7.1% of the workforce, an estimated 910,000 manufacturing employees, including 7,500 in Hidalgo County. And whereas manufacturers pay millions of dollars annually supporting schools, law enforcement, emergency preparedness, public works, and other essential services. Manufacturing jobs enable Texas families to realize the dream of owning a home, sending a child to college, and enjoying a secure retirement. And whereas National Manufacturing Day is held annually on the first Friday in October, and throughout the month of October is celebrated as National Manufacturing Month. And whereas residents are encouraged to support the work of manufacturing companies by purchasing the products manufactured in Hidalgo County and in the United States of America. And whereas to celebrate Manufacturing Month, entities across Hidalgo County, including the South Texas Manufacturers Association, Workforce Solutions, manufacturing companies, cities, economic development corporations, colleges, school districts, and others in relevant fields, are partnering to host various events to showcase modern manufacturing technology and careers. Now therefore be it resolved that the Hidalgo County Commissioners Court does hereby proclaim October 2019 as Manufacturing Month in Hidalgo County, and recognizes the valuable contributions that manufacturing companies and their employees provide to our to our communities, presented the 17th day of September 2019.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And joining us to say a few words is Mike Willis, who's treasurer and board member of the South Texas Manufacturing Association.
Thank you. I'll be brief. I'm joined by Teresa Hernandez, the executive director for South Texas Manufacturers Association, Karina Lopez with the FAR Economic Development Corporation, business retention and expansion manager, Victor Pettis, the executive director of FAR EDC, and Belinda Vargas, who's a CTE, Career and Technology coordinator for PSJA School District. STMA is our regional manufacturers trade association. We actually have over 112 manufacturing companies that are members, and over 100 other organizations from all different sectors, including schools and EDCs around the valley that are members. The goal of Manufacturing Day, as she said, is to increase awareness of manufacturing and to promote manufacturing careers. For my entire career in manufacturing, I've experienced that manufacturers basically don't talk about themselves, don't let the public in, and now we wonder why no one knows about manufacturing. So Manufacturing Day is an effort to get more people involved in manufacturing, plant tours, and especially to promote it to young people. This is the 5th year we've celebrated National Manufacturing Day in the Valley with the support of the Commissioners Court, and FAR Economic Development Corporation, South Texas College, and PSJA School District have helped take the lead in this initiative, and we appreciate that. As she said, Friday, October the 4th is National Manufacturing Day. PSJA is having an event on October the 2nd with assembly speakers followed by manufacturing plant tours for their technology students. South Texas College has events on October the 4th and 18th where over 200 high school kids who are enrolled in an associate degree program for manufacturing technology and other middle school students will be doing plant tours and such. So we thank you once again for your support.
Thank you, Mike.
Yes. Yeah, okay.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Thank you for the opportunity, and thank you for the support for STMA and, of course, the great city of FAR and the FAR EDC. We do have manufacturing. That's what's coming in the valley. That's what's coming to FAR. I've talked to several Mexican nationals, companies from over there that want to come over here and invest in our great county and our great city. With your support, like you've done in the past, we'd like for you to continue. We thank you for doing that. So again, thank you for all your support. Appreciate that. And on behalf of the mayor, our great mayor, City of FAR, Professor Hernandez, And our rest of the commission, we thank you for the support as well. Thank you.
Sure. Thanks for being here. God bless you.
Thank you for being here. You're enjoying retirement?
Still doing a little work.
Judge came up last. We're taking a picture over there, couch. He's behind you.
Judge, 17.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Okay, I would like to move item 17A forward. This is a resolution honoring one of our employees, many years of service.
Good morning, Judge Commissioners. Julia Sullivan presenting for the Purchasing Department. The item is a resolution honoring Juan Manuel Alvarado for 27 years of service. Whereas Mr. Juan M. Alvarado is being honored for his outstanding work and dedication to the citizens of Hidalgo County, and whereas he was born on February 21st, 1956 in Reynosa, Tamaulipas, Mexico, and later married Nora Silva Alvarado. Together for 40 years, they are the proud parents to Vanessa and Janet Alvarado, both graduating from St. Edward's University with master's degrees. And whereas Mr. Juan M. Alvarado graduated from South Texas Votech in 1988 as a computer accounting specialist, followed by an associate degree from South Texas College in Business Administration in 2016. And whereas he began his career with the Hidalgo County Auditor's Office under the direction of Stephen F. Austin, CPA, as an office clerk, but was soon promoted to Fixed Assets Internal Auditor. And whereas Mr. Alvarado later took a transfer position to the Hidalgo County Purchasing Department on February 15, 2008, as Assistant Fixed Assets Manager, and later participated and contributed to the development of the Compliance and Reporting Division as the Division Manager. Now therefore be it resolved that the Hidalgo County Commissioners Court does hereby honor Mr. Juan M. Alvarado for 27 years of outstanding dedication and committed service to Hidalgo County and wishes him a long, healthy, and happy retirement. Approved the 17th day of September 2019.
Second.
Those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations.
And our purchasing director, Mrs. Martha Salazar, will say a few words and then introduce him.
Well, good morning, and thank you for the opportunity to present one of the stellar cases in point for Hidalgo County. Not only an immigrant, but also a contributing citizen to the United States. Mr. Alvarado is just an admirable employee. He comes in, never leaves his office, and you can always count on information about our fixed assets, where they're located, how long we've had them. He has an amazing filing system, which I think we hope to inherit and emulate. And I think it is a testament to a person who comes to this country and achieves the American dream. So with that said, I think Mr. Alvarado wants to say a few words. And I'm already cracking up, and I'm not the one leaving. So, Mr. Juan Manuel Alvarado.
Good morning, Honorable Hidalgo County Judge and Honorable County Commissioners. It's my honor and privilege to be here this morning and be able to thank God. The County Commissioners court my wife of 40 years, Ms. Nora Alvarado, my two daughters, Vanessa and Janet Alvarado. Janet is here, Vanessa was unable to be here this morning. The Director of the Purchasing Department, Ms. Marta Salazar, and Ms. Dina Trevino, Assistant Purchasing Director. My co-workers and friends in all county departments and the residents of Hidalgo County for having allowed me the opportunity to be of service during these 27 years and 8 months. My career with the County of Hidalgo was blessed by God and made it possible by the people who trusted in helping me, such as Mr. Stephen of Austin, CPA, County Auditor back in 1992, Mr. Faustino Hernandez, CPA, First Assistant County Auditor, Mr. Manuel Cavazos Jr., CPA, he passed away a few years ago, rest in peace, former County Auditor, Mr. Antonio R. Sandoval, former County Auditor, Mr. Raimundo Frasio, CPA, former County Auditor, Mrs. R.C.B. Duran, MBA, CPA, now our current County Auditor, Mrs. Linda Fong, First Assistant County Auditor, Mrs. Cindy Sanchez, CPA, former Director of Internal Audits, and Mr. Reyes Cortez, CPA, former Director of Internal Audits. Okay. There is a long list of mentors and co-workers that I had the privilege of working with and who, one way or another, helped me to develop the methodology and procedures that are currently in place and that are now being delegated to what is now the Fixed Asset Management Division and the CNR Compliance and Reporting Division under the Purchasing Department. As a retiree, the experience and the satisfaction of having done the best we could go with us. However, the contributions and the legacy of our efforts stay with the county. For a new generation of county employees who are ready to embrace and give continuity to the obligation of processing and reporting the county's fixed assets in compliance with GAAP, generally accepted accounting principles, GASB Statement Number 34, as well as federal and state statutes and regulations. At the end of this cycle in my career, I just want to express my gratitude to God and to every person that made it possible. In an additional note, this morning I was reading an article from County Judge that he placed in the Monitor recently, and in quoting Judge Richard Cortez in his recent column in the Monitor, he said, "We can set Hidalgo County in the path of a cycle of prosperity." I believe that. And because I believe that everything is possible if you accept it is and do something about it, in our county like ours, the American dream is possible.
First the family and Mr. Alvarado.
Go ahead.
Well, Mr. Alvarado, the best thing you can do for us is tell us how you stay so thin. And good looking. Because I don't want to do what Commissioner Cantu wants me to do, go exercise.
Hands are in front.
It's not safe. It's not safe to move.
Smile. On a count of 3. 1, 2, and 3. Smile, everyone. Thank you. Okay, stay up there, Marty.
Yes, and also on behalf of all of your coworkers, something to remember us by.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Oops. So that family.
Not quite.
Okay, ready? Please make sure you stand. 1, 2, and 3. Thank you. And then the final photo?
Co-workers will.
Sure.
Final photo.
Right, trust me. And then, but my staff, they're gonna continue all the, everything on the project.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Is there anyone from the treasurer?
Item 6A. Who's here to present 6A?
Rosie.
Who?
Rosie's coming in.
Good morning, Commissioners. Judge Rosalinda Cantu presenting for the District Attorney's Office. Item 6A, HIDA Task Force Fund 1291. Discussion, consideration, and approval to submit the three-part SF 424 application form related to the ONDCP High Intensity Drug Trafficking Areas Program Fiscal Year 2020 with authority for county judge to sign required documentation. Application includes the following 1, 2, and 3: general application, budget information, non-construction programs, and lobbying form.
Move for approval.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Item 7A.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Alfredo Samarripa here for the County Treasurer. Our item is requesting a waiver of the county purchasing policy and procedures and the county non-travel meal policy for the bail bond board funds. These funds are not taxpayer money. These are funds that we collect from the bail bond companies for the filing of their applications.
And Judge, Commissioners, with that disclosure of that information, we do have an information or a public participation form from Ms. Fern McClarity with respect to item 7A.
Yes, I found out a few minutes ago, supposedly it's not taxpayers' money, but they had a luncheon, or whatever you want to call this, and they spent $3,768 on food. And my thing is, if they have that kind of money in their budget that's easy to spend like that, because that's almost $40 a plate for all these people. I don't understand. Maybe we need to check into it and see if you need to give more money to the fund balance or something. I mean, my stars, I can't imagine spending almost $4,000 on a meal. Thank you.
With that, all I can say is that this is from the Occupational Code 1704 to be used for the bail bond purpose.
May I have a motion to approve?
And Judge, Commissioners, with that being said, for the record, Commissioner Torres is abstaining from any discussion and/or action related to this item 7A.
So moved. Second. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Let the record show that Commissioner Torres abstained from voting.
Thank you.
Item 8A.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners. Under 8A, Agenda Item 72250, approval for sheriff and constable fee schedule for the year 2020. Apologies.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
May I have a motion to?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Takes 9A.
Morning, Judge, Commissioners. Julio Espinosa from the Tax Office. Item 9A, approval and authorization to increase the change fund for the Westlaco Tax Office in the amount of $200.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Judge, Commissioners, with the permission, item 10A. I do have an update with respect to emergency situations occurring since last agenda meeting. So that would be 10A2. There is no action under item 10A1. Judge, Commissioners, the elevators on the east side of this building, one of the elevator shafts is going to be down for at least the next week and a half, two, is my understanding. There is a part that has been ordered and will be installed, but one of the elevator shafts will not be operating for the next 1.5 to 2 weeks. So we do have the other one that is operating on the east side, and we do have the one on the west side that'll take you up to the second floor. Item 10B2, I was going to ask Mr. Armando Garza, it's approval to designate members to the Hidalgo County Rio Grande Valley Metropolitan Planning Organization, which is a technical advisory committee. There is a update for the appointment. He's not in the audience.
Who's this?
Armando Garza. Judge, Commissioners, with your permission, can I ask that we move on to the next, and then we will return to this one item?
We'll come back to that one, yeah.
Okay.
Item 11A.
Did you work out yesterday?
Sir,
Did you work out yesterday morning?
I work out every day, sir.
Oh, every day, awesome. What am I talking about?
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Raul Figueroa, Human Resources. I don't believe there's any auditor observations on this item. We have no general fund items on this agenda, so I don't think I need approval of item 11A. So I'll jump into item 11B.
So, Mr. Figueroa, with that being said, 11B, there is a public participation form from Ms. Fern McClarity with respect to item 11B.
Okay. Let me read the item. The County Treasurer's Office is reassigning these allowances, supplemental pay for work that is done on behalf of two organizations by staff and the payroll office. They're asking to delete a supplemental of $2,500 that is currently assigned to the chief deputy, and to add supplemental that supplemental and the supplemental from the drainage district to slot number 0015, executive assistant 2. So there's two supplementals. One is from the bail bond board and one is from the drainage district. This is work that the county treasurer does on behalf of these organizations, separate and apart from county work, and she's simply reassigning the supplemental pay from two employees to another employee.
So moved.
Judge, Commissioners, with that motion being said, for the record, Commissioner Torres is abstaining from any discussion and/or action related to agenda item 11B.
Second.
We have a motion.
Before there's a vote, I believe there you had
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's right, Ms. Fern.
Well, he more or less explained, because our question we were looking at was, why was it coming from the drainage district? Why wouldn't that have been in the drainage district? So that was our question.
We help them with payroll, and we charge them a fee, and then that employee gets part of that supplemental. We do some work for the drainage district. We have a interlocal agreement, and on behalf of that agreement,
We have a motion and a second All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Let the record show Commissioner Torres abstained from voting.
Item 11C for the WIC Department, approval of the following personnel actions effective next full pay period. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 positions that the department wishes to delete. The positions are vacant. They're not needed at this time, and these are grant money, so it's a reallocation of funds. They need to use these monies for operational expenses rather than have them tied up in these positions, so they're asking to delete these positions.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 11D for the District Attorney's Office. This is for a grant from the Arizona State University related to certain criminal activities. And it's also, they're asking to delete a criminal investigator 1 position, grade 12, which is funded by this grant, and to create a criminal investigator. So they need a higher level of investigators, so they're asking to delete the grade 12 investigator and create a grade 14 investigator. This will be a new position and deletion of an existing position that's vacant. We recommend approval.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Judge, Commissioners.
Item 12A.
Morning, Commissioners. Judge Larry Spotts on behalf of the Public Defender's Office, Your Honor. Judge, we are here on item 12A1, discussion, consideration, approval to enter into an interlocal agreement between Texas Tropical Behavior Health and Hidalgo County by and through the Hidalgo County Public Defender's Office.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. You want to go ahead and take 2 and 3 together?
Yes, Your Honor. Authorization for county judge as, this would be 12A2, authorization for county judge as authorized official to sign the interlocal agreement, award, and related documents, and I've forwarded those to the court administrator there, Your Honor. Judge. And item 12A3, approval of certification of revenues by the county auditor in the amount of $25,000 and appropriation of same.
Motion approved 2 and 3.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
That's all I have this morning, Judge. Excuse?
Thank you.
Thank you, and welcome to your new job.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
So used to be in court, man.
I was going to say, he sounds like he's starting to judge.
Thank you all. Had a chance to get to know you. Thank you all.
Judge, Commissioners, with your permission, before we take on item 13, I'd like to go back to item 10B. Approval to designate members to the Hidalgo County Rio Grande Valley Metropolitan Plan Organization. This is to the TAC, Technical Advisory Committee. There is an update to those appointments. Mr. Garza, do we have the names?
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. The TAC Committee had an appointment made by this court. The individual that was appointed has mentioned to us that he chooses, or they choose not to serve. And so at this point, we're asking for the court to designate someone else. And I am willing, ready, and available to serve on that board and in that capacity for the Commissioners Court.
I move to appoint Mando Garza for all the work that you've been doing already, both at our precinct and the county. So I would appoint Mando Garza.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Mr. Garza, is
Yes,
there
sir.
an alternate?
At this point, I would recommend that just because of the work that we've been doing, that we appoint Mayor David Suarez to that position, Chief of Staff Precinct 1.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Judge, Commissioners, item 13, if I may, WIC is undergoing an audit right now of the program, and so if I may, for the WIC department, this is their program 1292, Fund 1292, and they're requesting acceptance of the Health and Human Service contract number 2017-001 049851, 001 Amendment Number 4 in the amount of $11,890.05. I'm sorry, $11,890,539 for the contract period of fiscal year 2020, October 1st, 2019 through September 30th, 2020, in accordance with Section 4 of the contract.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
They're also asking approval for our county judge to docu-sign the signature page for Amendment Number 4, HHSC, Contract Number 2017-049851-001.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item B for the WIC Department, again, Fund 1292, they're requesting approval to accept the extra funding other in the amount of $145,355.22 for fiscal year 2019, labeled extra funding other, and they're also requesting approval of certification of revenue by the county auditor in the amount of $145,355.22 for fiscal year 2019, extra funding other grant and appropriation of same.
So move.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Morning, Judge, Commissioners. Item 14, Precinct 1, approval of economically disadvantaged county program application and affidavit for the Precinct 1, Mile 10, from Mile 6 to FM 1015 road project, with authority for the county judge to sign all required documentation.
Check your text.
Move for approval.
All those in favor say aye.
Second.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Good job, Mayor. Keep up the workout, Mayor.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners. Armin Garza, Precinct 3. We have two items today. Item 15A, requesting authorization and approval to rename existing street, Los Sevenos Road, located on Torres Estates, number 22 subdivision, in Precinct 3 to Bass Bar Road.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Item B, requesting approval to install a 250 WHPS streetlight at the intersection of El Pinto and Los Cenizos Road.
So move.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Morning, Judge, Commissioners. Sergio Cruz, Department of Budget Management. Item 16A is presentation and discussion of the 2019 health benefits plan premium analysis. And I'm going to have Bonnie from Lewis and Ellis, the actuarial firm, to make a presentation.
Good morning.
Bien, gracias.
Thank you for having me. I prepared a brief presentation for you guys. I think I've been working with the county on the premiums since about 2014. And you'll see on the first slide that I wanted to put together a tracking of the fund balance. And you can see if you go back to 2008, the fund balance was doing pretty healthy and doing well. And then you can see over the years, I believe in 2012, it dropped down below zero and has,
May I stop you for just a minute? I just want to
Certainly.
make sure, because you delivered this some time back. There were no changes to your report, this report,
Yes,
the
sir.
original report?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, so you can see that the fund balance has gone down pretty low, and then the last couple of years, the increases that you guys have implemented has brought that back up. So I wanted to give you a little bit of history. The bars on there show the blue is the average increase that was implemented, and the yellow is what was recommended. So I think you've gone a little bit under what was recommended, but still you're moving in the right direction. So on the next slide, I put together, this is just medical cost trend. And so you can see your actual costs per employee have remained fairly flat. So I show 0.5% annualized trend over the past 3 years. So that's a good sign, so you're not having to chase, high increases in medical costs right now. On the following slide, on the fourth one, I wanted to give you a little idea of how we developed the rate increase. So we we projected your claims per employee per month, which was $651.93 for 2020. We added in the administrative expenses, got your total projected claims and expenses, and then we compared that to your current average premium. And so you can see that the necessary rate increase was 4%. And then we recommended 6% to try and keep you moving towards a positive. And the final page is our projected fund balance. And so we've got 2018 in there, and there's a $3.9 million deficit. In calendar year 2019, we've projected a $1.6 million gain, which will bring the fund balance to a negative $2.3 million. And then with a 6% increase, we should half that at least. And then by 2021, you're looking like you'll be back in the black. So that was kind of in a nutshell. And so, whatever questions you guys have.
Anyone have any questions? I do, but anybody have any questions? Okay. You issued a report back dated August the 13th.
Yes.
That, what, about a month ago?
Mm-hmm.
And in that report, you use actuarial science to predict the future as best as you can.
That's
and you
correct.
analyzed our plan.
Correct.
And in fact, you made some recommendations to our plan. When were we supposed to discuss your report and the recommendations that you wanted to make to the plan?
When? Is that what you said? Whenever you
We can
guys.
discuss them right now, Judge.
Okay. Well, but what comes first, the report and the recommendations, because you're making a recommendation as to what to charge for the plan. But if there were some proposed changes to the plan, it would seem to me, logically, that we talk about the potential changes that we want to make.
Correct, Judge.
Okay,
We
well,
want to make the changes first.
so let's go ahead and discuss it now. Why don't you tell us what those recommendations are?
So I think one of those changes was the removal of the buy-up option. I think that was one of the
Say that again?
The removal of the buy-up option, the more
Okay.
expensive benefit option. And you've got so few people in there at this point, and they're the least healthy. I think, you've got what we call anti-selection, which means that the sicker people are choosing the richer benefits. And there's become such a disparity between those two groups that you may want to consider removing that plan for now and look into some other options in the future.
Why not just raise the premium?
You can, and that's one option. There's just not, that's an option. I don't know that you can, you'd have to raise it a lot in order to eliminate a lot of that subsidy between those two plans, but that's definitely an option.
Do you know how much per employee, or do you have the breakdown by the tier?
Yes, I believe that is on page 2 of the report. We showed 118% increase would be necessary to bring those premiums in line with the benefits.
Well, I have a question that really entails three things. Do you have an opinion as to what we think we can do to improve our plan and the financial viability of the plan? Does staff have an opinion as to what we need to do? And does our consultant have an opinion of what we need to do? Because if you don't share those opinions with us, then we will never be able to fully use your knowledge and skill in this very specialized area. So do you all have an opinion?
Yes, Judge. As far as staff, we would recommend that we do eliminate the buy-up. Again,
It would require us to increase premiums to an amount that would basically be, people would just drop that plan anyways if they were if we were to raise the premiums high enough to where it would basically cover those expenses. So in essence, we would end up eliminating the plan anyways.
For the buyout plan?
For the buyout. However, even though on the analysis it shows that if we do remove the buyout plan, we could reduce the increase from 6% to 4.5%. However, it'd also be our recommendation to keep the 6% to be able to bring our fund balance into a positive position sooner.
Okay, so and what does our consultant say?
I agree with them, and Judge, right now we're in the process, as you know, in negotiating with the different carriers for the plan moving forward. They have all been asked to give very specific information about the risk that would be reduced based on the plan changes that we're talking about. All of the bids that have come in so far are below what the maximum budget at the 6% level are. So we're trying to get a hard dollar number for the plan benefit changes that we can make in relationship to the savings that are generated from the bid process.
So when were you all going to give us these recommendations?
You'll have it in
We
your
were about
office.
to vote on
You'll have it
on the premium.
by Thursday.
I'm sorry?
You'll have it by Thursday.
So we don't need to vote on your request today?
No, this is simply a budget number for the budget, so that we know that could be the maximum that's in the budget.
And out of abundance of precaution, because some people will be affected, the people that buy out.
That's
You
why
buy
we're
out
trying.
because
We're
you
trying
have more need than the average person. Have we discussed with the employees what the consequences would be to them if we were to take this action? I mean, would it be catastrophic? Would it be okay? I mean, do we know what?
We want to ask Marty. I guess she's in the. No, never mind.
Is Marty
there's
one?
There's 171.
Go ahead.
171 individuals.
Just a comment, just some input. I'm on the high plan, and I can assure you I'm not sickly, and I don't overutilize, probably underutilize. I have no problem eliminating the high plan. I think the gap is there from, but you need to make a decision before you set the premiums for the basic, because if you set it high and then everybody goes into the basic, then the premium over here is not. It's not right, because you're using the high premium on the high to offset the basic, so that needs to be really thought out. Thank you.
One of the things that our actuary has said is that our medical claim cost has been relatively flat. So we're trying to then even start that curve down if we can, and we can do that doing different elements of the healthcare plan as far as treating the wellness program in a different manner. But all of the bidders have been asked to adjust the co-payments, deductibles, and the co-insurance amounts. We've asked for members to adjust those. And right now, we're awaiting those best and final type offers on those benefit changes.
I have a question. Don't we take this into consideration?
I'm sorry.
I said, don't we take this into consideration, but also with the proposals that we're receiving right now, and take it all together, or do we have to do something separate with this first? In other words, we're getting pricing from Blue Cross Blue Shield and Aetna. Do we look at all of this together?
What you're asked to do today is just put the maximum amount in the budget that would be expended. The information that I bring back to you.
So if we have savings on the insurance plan, then we've already have a maximum, and then we can adjust.
We can adjust from that.
Gotcha. But so what is are we making a decision today on something?
We do have the action item, Judge, Commissioners. However, we don't have to take action right now. We can wait until we finalize the plan and select the TPA and find out what the actual administrative costs for that, or the actual projected costs based on the new plan that the court select would be. Yeah. Again, for budgeting purposes, we've left the 6% in the budget, the 6% increase, and we would recommend that we would keep that. But then basically the court does have the options to either eliminate the buyout, keep the buyout, or do a combination of things.
And basically what this is saying is she agrees with the 6% as a
Correct.
max.
As a max.
Gotcha.
And again, the impact of the actual plan, Mr. Guerrero mentioned, it will affect the plan if we eliminate the buyout, bring it back. But however, based on her analysis, we would actually still have a savings and be able to reduce the premium increase to 4.5%.
So, just be ready, because, like she did mention, I'm on the high plan too. I don't overuse it, and I have kids. I just do it because it's safer for me. But, the people that have catastrophic claims are going to be impacted because they're going to have more deductibles. They're going to have higher out-of-pocket maximums. So expect for our sick population to say something when you take that benefit away from them. The other thing is that, correct me if I say anything incorrect, we are setting a premium for our self-funded plan, which is really just for us. Anything we save will go to our fund balance. It's not that we expect claims to be this level. Obviously, you've predicted that our claims will be below this cost, including the administrative fees, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
That's correct. All right. But we haven't finalized our benefit structure yet. But we went out for RFP. So we went out for RFP with the current structure, and now we're negotiating essentially down.
Yeah.
Right? Because we're taking away the high plan, so that impacts us in a positive way from the standpoint of our premium should go down. Right? Then we're also going to be taking away, or we're going to be modifying the benefits to some degree. Can you tell us what else is going to impact the claims dollars?
As far as modifying the...
Well, you said we're modifying, you mentioned three things. You're going to modify the copay, you're going to modify the coinsurance, and was there something else?
Deductible.
Coinsurance and the deductible amount.
Okay, so can you tell us?
Those are the three primary elements that impact it. The other presentations that have been made today, the other changes that would impact are the manner in which the employees access the system and how much care and treatment they get in management of their disease management programs, and particularly working on getting special care for the diabetic, where we're going to have to change the manner in which we reimburse for the strips, for instance. We're recommending that that all be managed on a zero copay process for the management of those particular items under diabetic management system. And so that process and those things are supposed to help us long-term benefit increase by the utilization going down.
Are you looking at making any of those three changes to the basic plan?
Yes, that's what we're planning on with the basic plan.
In a negative way to the employee
Positive.
or a positive way?
Positive.
So
Everything is
we're going to
positive.
reduce the deductible. We're going to reduce the out-of-pocket maximum. We're going to reduce the co-insurance amount. Is that what you're saying?
Correct. It's 70% on the base plan now. We're moving that to 80%. We're getting the numbers to move that to an 80% co-insurance factor.
So how does that impact your premium expectation?
I think it depends on what other, whichever carrier you go with, discounts and, pharmacy rebates and things like that. Obviously, if you're enriching the benefits.
It's going to increase.
Right. So.
It's going to increase what?
The
But
cost.
The cost.
We're decreasing the fixed cost. We're decreasing fixed cost, increasing the benefit.
You're increasing the benefit, so the employee will pay less out of pocket, going from a 70 to an 80.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Are we affecting the out-of-pocket max?
Out-of-pocket max, no, it's still.
Still the same? And the co-insurance?
Co-insurance would be an 80-20 relationship rather than 70-30.
Okay, so those two things, the deductible
And the deductible, co-payments to the doctor office visit would go down by $10.
So that
From 40
cost
to 30.
transfers to the county as opposed to the employee, right?
I have a question. Who has, if anyone, run an analysis on what does the reduction of copay do in terms of, does that, I would suspect that it actually gets our employees into the doctor's office and prevents them from having to go to an emergency room at a later time. So it might look like an expense, but I think that it ends up being a savings. Who runs those types of analysis to see if, for instance, like I had an employee the other day said, I'm going to go to the doctor, but I'm going to go Friday when we get paid. And I was blown away, right? And I said, go to the doctor today, I'll help you. But I think that there's a benefit to that. Who runs those analyses?
The underwriters from the different insurance companies by taking past histories into consideration.
Our past history or just?
No, your past history.
And is that being done on awesome?
I think that he might be asking, like, if we have emergency care treatments, are the diagnosis codes really for something that could have been handled by a PCP, or was it really an emergency that had to be taken care of at the emergency room? Is there somebody that checks that?
That's part of the coding system and the claim system. People utilize the services that are inappropriate for an emergency circumstance, and there's a bill for that.
And again, that goes back to our education of how to utilize the plan more effectively so that we do reduce those costs, as opposed to a $3,000 bill. We have a $25 copay and an office visit that might cost $120, $150. So yes, there's some. What I'm saying is that if we're targeting, and I agree with Commissioner, that if we can educate our staff as far as how to highly utilize, it would help reduce some of these costs. But I guess going back to my question, how are we setting this premium then if we have not finalized our budget? I mean, really what our benefit structure is. I mean, how can you finalize a number that you don't really know?
We're not trying to hit the number exactly.
I know you're not. You've already said that we're going to have a surplus. This is sufficient to cover our package, but how do you do that?
Well, I want to make a comment now. It's appropriate for you to make the comment. I want to spend more than 5 minutes or 2 minutes to make an important decision like this.
Absolutely.
And it's difficult when we have full knowledge of the facts, and it's impossible when we don't. And here, it would seem to me that the logical process of getting to this point is to first decide whether we have any changes to the plan and why. Here we have a plan. Do we want to make any changes? Why do we want to make these changes? Who is it going to impact? How did we communicate with the people that was impact? And in a perfect world, nobody gets hurt, but we know that someone's going to have to pay, because we have a plan right now that a small percentage of the employees that are in the buyout are getting subsidized by the rest of the people. That's what this told me. Is that true?
Yes, that's correct.
Yes, okay. So we want to be fair to all the employees, and there may be some number in between what we have now and what we want to be, but we won't know that unless you, the people we retain and hire, to give us those recommendations so we can take that action. Once we're sure that we've done the best we can with the plan that we want to have for our employees, then we go out and solicit somebody, to help us administer that plan and provide us with stop losses and whatever. It seems to me that we've done it in reverse, but am I confused in that? It sounds like I am. Go ahead.
I think ideally, you're correct.
Okay, so we're not in an ideal situation.
No.
So,
No.
Okay, so
The administrators,
what's different?
when we give them information on how we want them to administer the plan, they have to have the capacity to be able to administer it in that form. So we set the plan design. We go to them. Here's the plan design we want. Give us, what your administrative fee to administer that plan is going to be consistent. But it's going to be a flat number.
Okay.
Because the admin fixed cost for administration.
Okay, I got it. And then the next
The other
question.
thing, Judge, excuse me, that by Thursday, I hope to have the portfolio for you to review for my presentation next Tuesday.
Okay, and in discussions with you, at some point in time, I think you said we had $7 million in fund balance in our self-funded plan? 7 or 8 million?
I believe it was, close to 8.
Okay, and we're now at a negative of 3.5.
But why?
What was that?
Why?
Because back in 2009, court took the reduced the premiums to be able to offset the cost that general fund was paying into the plan, and basically use some of that fund balance. throughout the 4 or 5 years that we reduced premiums lower than what we probably should have set them at.
Okay.
So actually, the insurance is not what you say it is, the real numbers?
Correct. Back then, the premiums were set lower than what the expected cost was going to be.
Your premiums didn't cover your claims.
Correct.
Basically, that's what it was.
And I'm not questioning the action because you were guessing as to where I was going. And where I'm going with is that is there, based on the advice and counsel of the people that we entrust with helping us give information, is there a fund balance that makes sense for us to target for us to get to? Okay, because right now we're in the negative. You're saying over time we keep overfunding what we actually need for expenses so we can fill up that hole. Is there a number? Because I think that if we're going to be projecting about tax rates and budgeting and stuff like that, I think we need to look long-term as to what that future is going to be so we have a plan to get there. So what is your opinion as to what would be the appropriate fund balance for our insurance of this size?
My opinion, Judge, we need to cover what we call the incurred but not reported reserve plus the administrative fees that are required to manage that balance. In my opinion, we're looking at somewhere between $3.4 and $3.6 million.
And that's roughly what, 90 days?
That's roughly.
Because your IBNR is usually like a 90-day runoff, right, where the physician has a chance to submit.
Based on our claim turnaround time now, we're about 65 to 68 days lag time and the change takes place.
Okay, so based on your recommendation to us, that instead of charging, let's say, 4 cents or 4%, that we go to 6%, that extra 2% is funding our plan by how much more? Well, it appears, it's on your number 5. It's on your number 5.
So you're asking what it would be if it were a 4% increase as far as the fund balance?
To get to the 3.5 or 3.6 fund balance.
Oh, I got you.
We're in the negative. So for the next 5 years or 6 years, we're going to have to go up to catch up to that savings we took in the past. We're going to have to make it up in the future. So when are we going to get to that level based on your projections here?
I didn't go out further than 2 years, but if you look, 5% for next year gets you at, another 1.3 million. So.
Okay, so it would be about 223?
I would think.
About 223?
That would get to be flat.
If you continue increasing at about the same level.
But you're saying we have to increase our premiums 5% every year.
That's correct.
6% next year, and then 5.
So it's not just this year, it's continued increases.
Got to make up for all that we pulled out.
That's right.
Yeah, and hope that our costs still stay flat, whatever. Okay.
But
I think I finally got it.
These increase levels are fairly standard in the industry, and so I think the fact that you guys are able to use it to build back up your fund balance as opposed to having to just cover the claims.
Keep up with claims.
I think you're in a good place.
Well, I think with the wellness program that Eddie has initiated in our the risk management department, personnel coming together and trying to, I think again, if we go out and outreach with some of those people that are maybe utilizing the plan incorrectly, as far as going to a provider that wouldn't be ideal for us cost-wise, obviously. Obviously, we want our people to be safe and take every precaution necessary, but if it's not an emergency, go to a primary care physician as opposed to an emergency room, and try to keep our utilization as far as dollars down. I did have another question for you, excuse me, Judge, but this rate that we're talking about is just the employee only, what we fund as a county. Everything else comes out of employee pockets, whether it's dependent care, spouse, family, all of those things. Did you do an analysis to see if those premiums were correct? Because a lot of times when you have a family utilization that's much higher and it doesn't cover because premiums aren't sufficient, did you do any analysis on the other tiers
Yes, I did.
Was there a deficit from the other programs?
Yes, I believe. I mean, I think you guys had made some changes in the past that brought you more in line with where you should be.
You want to get closer to the mic?
Oh,
so
I'm sorry.
The
Is that
people,
one?
the people,
I don't think that one's working.
Yeah, is that better?
yes.
Okay.
Because there's people watching somewhere.
I'm sorry. I guess that one's not working. So I'm just trying to find it.
You're recommending a 6% increase on the employee only. Are you making other
The
recommendations?
6% is across the board. Oh, yeah, right. So there's still an issue with the spouse and children compared to the employee only.
So that's the family plan.
Correct.
Commissioner, that was a directive by the court a number of years ago to subsidize the dependent cost, to make it more affordable for employees to purchase the insurance. If you had the full amount of responsibility based on the total claim responsibility, those rates would be substantially higher.
I'm an employee plus family, so that's my bucket. I get it. And but at the same time, we have to be fair to all our other employees in that they should cover the costs related to the claims that they're incurring. Because what really is happening, Judge, is you are subsidizing the employee and family.
Absolutely.
With the
No
premiums
question.
that we're.
There's no question.
And if you're shortchanging that, then we're going to continue to be in a fund balance deficit. It'll just get us to a fund balance that's either break even or positive a lot sooner. I just think it has to be fair that they should cover their costs. And again, that includes me. But we need to make sure that each of the bracket can pay for itself.
Right, and I think if, insurance is subsidizing. So, across the board, you're subsidizing. You just have to determine, as he said, where do you want to subsidize and do you want to help those families out or not?
And I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Well, and that's insurance. I mean,
Right.
the healthy ones pay for the unhealthy
Right,
ones.
your older ones are being
So
paid for by your younger ones, so.
No, at least I understand that. Commissioner
Yeah.
Cantu wants to say something. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, it's no problem. I just had a couple of comments, and I know that maybe at the dais, we've only had this information for 5 minutes, but unless Mondo's been playing hooky on me, he's been spending 4 days on this, that you've been out of my office, and he's brought back a lot of relevant information so that I'm kind of kept abreast of where we're at. But what's really exciting, besides the wellness program, is that Blue Cross Blue Shield and Aetna are offering a diabetes program that sounds fantastic. So I'm really excited about that. I'm really excited of what I've heard about Teladoc and how it works, whether we use Aetna or the other company. They both have those types of deals. We just need to get that out to the employees so they understand that.
Especially on the weekends, when people would end up in an emergency room, they can call Teladoc, get a prescription sent to their pharmacy over the weekend. That's part of the education process.
Big education process. And we also have that on annual visits, you don't have to pay a copay. I didn't know that, and so I would assume a lot of our employees didn't know that. And so these are tremendous benefits that we just need to educate our employees about. So I see a lot of upside to this.
Hi, just to let you know, I do have insurance presentations to be done at each precinct and the local bigger areas like Edinburgh, at the courthouse, here in Commissioner's Court. So just so that everybody will know, we will be having insurance presentations to educate our employees within the first week of October or so.
Awesome.
By the way, we will be taking Diana and Carlos to talk about wellness, Commissioner.
I'll be there.
I didn't mean to interrupt. I just said
No
that.
problem.
That's
I'm
an
done.
opportunity.
So, where are we?
Judgment, unless you have any other questions, that would conclude the presentation. As far as item B, we can no action on that until Mr. Looney comes back with the results of the RFP and then other changes that we can make to the plan.
I have a question. 6%.
Appreciate the discussion.
How much money is that?
What was that?
How much money is we're talking about in 6%?
On 6%?
Increase, 6% increase.
Per employee?
No.
You move the
No,
whole-
the total amount.
cash.
the
Total.
whole thing.
Total
Is it
cash?
this one?
What's in your budget?
For our budget.
For
That
the
budget
county?
breakdown where you have the 6% increase?
Isn't it the 1.6 million? No, it's not this one.
Oh, here's where
It's in his budget breakdown. He shows what the 6% is.
Here. What are you looking
Sorry,
for?
Commissioner. Right now, the 6% increase in premiums to the general fund is $993,000.
$1 million.
Yes, about $1 million. So, and we would be recommending that we keep that 6% increase regardless of the changes that we made to the plan design, just to be able to get to that positive position sooner.
Judge, you're going to either vote to see premium or take no action on this matter?
Recommend to take no action and wait for Mr. Rooney's presentation next week. That way he can give you other, the effects of some of the other changes, the co-pays and the deductible changes.
Yeah, I'm comfortable with that decision. All right?
Yes.
Again, item 16A was just a presentation, discussion, requires no action as well. Item 16C is approval of correction to agenda item 72144 to correct the slot number for the created position from slot 0170 to 0171.
Move for approval?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 16D is discussion, consideration, and approval to eliminate the indirect cost allocation rate for the grant fiscal year 2020 for the WIC program, effective 1/1/2019 to 9/30/2020. Currently, the indirect cost that we're charging to WIC is zero. This is just an action item to formalize that.
Motion approved.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 16E is requesting approval of payment for the Hidalgo County's share of El Murillo drain expense to the Rio Grande Regional Water Authority, totaling $106,107.94, with authority for the county treasurer to issue the check after auditing procedures have been completed.
We've checked this out. This is unusual. They went up 300%, but there was a satisfactory explanation
Yes.
for it. I recommend that we approve it.
Second?
Is there a motion and a second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Judge Commissioners.
Thank you.
If I may, 17B, this is nomination of at least 3 firms from Hidalgo County's approved pool of engineers for the purpose of scoring and evaluating in connection with services for countywide on-call and as-needed traffic studies.
Nominations?
Yes, please.
Okay. Nominate LNG.
LNG engineer, yeah. Second.
Okay,
It's one.
We need 3 or what?
at least 3. That's our policy.
B to Z. This is
For traffic studies. On call.
Robert, do y'all do traffic studies? Awesome. We need one more?
Yes, sir.
Ted Z. That's 3, right?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Can I have action on that?
Motion to approve those three names.
Second?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, the next one is action to appoint the scoring and grading committees. Will that be all the chiefs, if I may be so bold? Do you want to switch
Yes.
Ms. Belinda or
Yes.
Jennifer?
I'd like to put Ms. Letty Signs.
Letty, okay. So how about the other 4 members? Is it the
Elvin
chiefs of
Garza.
staff?
Elvin
Chief,
Garza.
your chief, right? Judge
Same here.
Isaac.
Mando.
And I will presume it's Mayor Suarez,
Sure.
but I will confirm for that direction. And Ms. Letty signs.
Yes.
May I have action, please?
Motion to approve those people.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 2 is acceptance and approval of to execute Amendment 3 between Hidalgo County and architect HDR for a lump sum amount of $46,210 for the services described and attached in the agenda items.
This is for sinks for the lactation.
Correct. Those are increasing that.
I'm sorry, Judge Commissioners, Ms. Marty, we do have a participation form from Ms. Vernon Clarity on 17B2.
Yes.
Okay, they found 2 little extra spaces on the 3rd floor for this, and we're paying an extra, like she said, $46,210 to find rooms so that mothers can take care of this. My question is, if that's for that building, how many other county buildings are we going to do the same thing and have to spend that kind of money? And does the law state that we have to have top of the line or whatever? I don't know whether or not they expected the county and the school districts and the cities and everything to do stuff like this, but $46,000, new building, we had questions on.
Okay,
This
so
is just the
with respect
architectural
to,
fees.
right, with respect to the first one, A1, that deals with the addition for the sinks, for the lactation, for the lactation rooms. But the second one were chases, that it was the infrastructure, where in chases that we thought we were going to need, we do not need, and there is that extra space that can be utilized, and that would be for the master courts. And so that just goes towards the serviceability of that facility and increasing and maximizing usable space for the courts. So the total $46,210 is not 100% for the lactation, for the sinks and lactation. 2 separate issues. As a breakdown, the first for the sinks, for the lactation rooms, $7,285. The bulk of $38,925 is so that we can convert what was found to be converted into usable space for, and I believe it was for the master courts, or in that area.
2 additional courts.
2 additional courts.
And how did we determine that the fees that we're being recommended to pay are reasonable and fair? I mean, who decides that?
They were presented to the committee, Visa, Mr. Guerra, Mr. Sulemana, Armando Garza.
Okay, so that group approved that this is a fair amount.
They concurred that they were supporting.
Because this is only for design.
The design services included, yes.
No, it's only for design, as I understand it.
It's for the design documents.
Yes, it's for the
This is
design.
only to design. This is going to
These
take
spaces,
additional materials
yes.
and labor and whatever, and, okay. All right, well then, Visa's the one entrusted to do that.
And every one of them responded.
Right.
Okay.
And as a notation, Judge, Commissioners, the information was provided by Jacobs, and Jacobs did work that process. And so, Oscar, I don't know if you want to add anything to it, but
Oscar, should we wait on this until we have the other stuff ironed out? I'm not picking on this, I'm kind of picking on the other items.
The chases in particular are something that we need to be able to take care of now, right? So the design, the 3rd floor has already been poured, and so we actually are looking to capitalize on that immediately for the said chases.
I really didn't want to get into the other conversation, but we're going to get into it then. So then, what are we going to do about the other pending item? All the other changes that we made that are over budget?
That still is in the works we're looking at right now.
So you don't want to look at this along with that? You want to take
This is
them
just
separately?
design. So this is just really for that additional design.
We
You all
could
can
always-
then decide to
Yeah,
to
we don't
move
have
forward
enough
with it or
money
not.
for, we could always take it out, okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm fine with that.
So if this is going to be más o menos 10%, is that usually what the amount is? Or 8%?
Of the total cost of that?
No, yeah, so we're looking at an additional
552 is what I calculated.
552?
Must-
Does that sound right?
No. I mean, we have no pricing on the actual construction of this. This is merely for the design of these spaces.
So how did they base their fee, is what the judges asked?
Just the amount of time that it's going to take, the different subcontractor design groups that are going to be involved with it. So the MEP that was going to have to be involved with it, the structural that was going to have to be involved with it, the like. Because you're taking chases that are essentially empty spaces that were running through the entire building in this place, and on the third floor, they had an opportunity to recapture that and make that usable space. So it's going to be an additional 150 square feet for those 2 additional courts. So when we took that to Visa, they said, yeah, you know what, that's valuable square footage that we're going to be able to put to use. So let's move forward with the design of that. What we do then as we go through the pricing of the actual construction, that can be done now, that can be done at a later date, but at least you guys will be able to make that decision at that point. So we could, to answer your question, Commissioner, we could make that part of the added scope as we move forward. But this is something that we just needed to have designed immediately and have that taken care of at least. Okay. So.
Okay, it's only 50 grand.
They're going to quote you on that.
Well.
Oh, we need a motion? I make a motion.
Again, I just wanted to make sure that somebody was looking at it, whatever, but now I know how it came out. Okay, so we have a motion, and is there a second?
I made a motion.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
When opposed, motion carries.
Item 3, first, A, I need action, a requesting exemption from competitive bidding under Texas Local Government Code 262-024A, a professional service.
So moved.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, motion carries.
B is presentation of the scoring grid for the purposes of ranking for those 3 firms that were nominated, which were L&G, B2Z, and TEDZ. L&G scored 480, B2Z 473, TEDZ 464. Does the court wish to rank them in the order of those scores?
Move for approval?
Second.
Before we do that, I don't have any problem with any of this, but I was reading because these are engineers that do work for us,
Yes, sir.
right?
They're on the pool.
Okay, and is this for the technical advisory committee? I'm trying to understand.
It's for consulting to the technical advisory
Oh, consulting to the committee.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, because I was reading the bylaws for the new RGV NPO.
Correct.
And they have a code of ethics.
Correct.
And they're very concerned to be free of any conflicts of interest. So I wanted to make sure that we didn't. Of course, they'll be able to decide themselves whether they have one or not. So.
Yes, sir. They're obligated to do it.
Yeah. Okay. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Then C is authority for purchasing department to commence negotiations with the number 1 ranked firm for a contract for technical consultant to the RGV MPO, Technical Advisory Committee.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item C1, this is requesting approval for Hidalgo County Auditor to process and issue check for the amount of $1,175 prior to services being rendered pursuant to architectural barriers administration rules as listed with a registered accessibility specialist. And that is for the project, the filing plan review and inspection for Las Milpas Park Youth Facility.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item D1 for the Health Department, this is authority to advertise and approval of draft procurement packet for the Chief Physician Health Authority for Hidalgo County Health and Human Services Department.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
And 2 would be requesting action to appoint and select the evaluators when those RFQs come in, the SOQs, Statements of Qualifications. Do you wish to appoint anyone from the Health Department, including whoever else you assign from your staff?
Is Eddie there
Yes, sir.
already?
Okay, Mr. Olivares?
Yes.
And then the chiefs of staff? And on this one, Commissioner?
Ms. Science.
Ms. Science also? Okay.
I would put Hilda Salinas on
Okay,
my.
for judge? Commissioner Flores, so Mr. Olivares is your pick, correct?
No, Mr. Garza and
Okay.
Mr. Olivares will be there.
Okay.
Mayor.
Mando.
month.
How about the two ladies that served from the health department that were on the insurance committee?
Yes.
Lulu and Irene?
Ms. Irene and the
Yes.
other, okay.
Those guys are superstars.
Yes, yeah, excellent.
Okay, thank you. I need action on that.
Move for approval.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
We're on a C is approval to exercise the county's option to exercise the 60-day grace period extension under the same rates, terms, and conditions as allowed in contract number as posted with Ivan Melendez, MD, for the provision of those chief physician services.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item E is for WIC. This presentation of the sole bid received for the purpose of award and approval of the contract for to Ms. Laura Salinas for the lease of office space, City of Mercedes.
Move for approval?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
For the Sheriff's Office, approval of the interlocal agreement between Hidalgo County and the City of Weslaco to provide commercial waste pickup and disposal services to Hidalgo County's Benito Bravo East Side substation, and that is subject to final legal review by our attorney. It's being presented to the City Commission tonight by the City of Weslaco, but there are some components that are still lacking, which would be the final rates. So that would be subject to final review. But I do recommend we do it that way.
Move for approval.
Second.
And Judge Commissioners, I would also recommend that once we have final rates, we bring it back in as an additional.
We will
agenda
present it as the final version.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, subject to that condition. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 2 is approval of the First Amendment to contract number 148 with Dr. Justin Sorelli for Paws Animal Hospital to reflect the fees and medications to replace the current Exhibit B with the revised Exhibit B.
Okay, and we found out that that was a de minimis amount. It wasn't a very.
It's $16 total. 12 of those dollars are from, it's a medication that had to be
Okay.
changed.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
That's all I have. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Do we have any?
Yes.
Open forum, I'm sorry.
Yes, we do, Judge, but before we start open forum, may I ask the court to recess Commissioners Court, open the budget workshop, recess the budget workshop, and come back to Commissioners Court in compliance with the.
May I have a motion to recess the Commissioners Court meeting?
So move.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. I want to call the workshop to order. May I have a roll call, please?
David Fuentes, Precinct 1.
Eddie Cantu, Precinct 2.
Ellie Torres, Precinct 4.
Richard Cordes, County Judge, that constitutes a quorum. May I have a motion to recess
So move.
the
Second.
workshop? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. May I have a motion to reconvene the Commissioners Court meeting?
So move.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Judge, Commissioners. We do have 3 participants, open forum. I will remind the audience to please respect the speaker's time at the podium. There is a 3-minute time limit, and I will advise when there is 1 minute. Our first presenter is Ms. Fern McClary.
Commissioners and Judge, I am here today to compliment the County Judge Cortez for his article entitled, "We Must Reduce Poverty." It's clearly established poverty is an important issue that increases the cost to the taxpayers. The article was important to me because although the level of poverty is well known, very few elected officials have made its reduction a goal in their administrations. The article says, if Hidalgo County residents are to enjoy future economic growth and prosperity, we must reduce our poverty rate. It is urgent that we lower the poverty rate in Hidalgo County because doing so will improve the quality of life for all our residents. This is an important statement for our elected officials to make because if we are trying to improve our quality of life, we do not hire state senators and representatives to create laws that make it easier to take more money from our people. And we do not create laws that require people to pay more if they cannot pay. We do not say it will cost $150 million to build a courthouse and then you sell $428 million in bonds. This county needs to stop giving tax abatements to wind energy companies, sports arenas, and other private businesses as a way of creating jobs. If there is a question, place it on the ballot and let the people decide. What should we do? If we want to lower the poverty rate, is to adopt a truly balanced budget and stick to it. 2, reduce the tax rate by at least 1 cent. 3, instead of contracting for the tax collection services and pay an additional 15% on these people, have the county perform this function. 4, have the DA be the Commissioner's Court attorney. That would save money. The staff is our largest budget item in the county. Follow the step and grade rules and don't change. There is a request to suspending the rules at each commissioner's meeting. Why? If you're going step and grade, why do we have to wave at every meeting the first thing before he opens his mouth to start something? We would like y'all to check on this. That's how you save money. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Next presenter is Elvira Mendez.
Buenos días, señor juez y comisionados. Mi nombre es Elvira Méndez, soy líder de la organización Arise y resido en Colonia Little Mex, precinto número 2, y estoy aquí para pedirles que se inviertan fondos en la seguridad y bienestar de las familias, asignando un mínimo de $500,000 para la infraestructura de alumbrado público, que equivale al 0.23% menos del 1% del presupuesto anual del condado de Hidalgo. También queremos al menos 2 subdivisiones de cada precinto se alumbren por año, ya sean vecindades con o sin infraestructura. Muchas gracias por su apoyo.
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. My name is Elvira Mendez. I'm leader of the organization Arise, and I live in the Colonia Little Mexico, precinct number 2. And I'm here to ask you to invest more funds for the safety and well-being of the families, assigning at least $500,000 for the infrastructure of public lighting, which is 0.23%, less than 1% of the annual budget of the Hidalgo County. We also want that at least 2 subdivisions from each precinct be lighting up each year, whether they have infrastructure or not. Thank you very much for your support.
Our next presenter is Irma González.
Buenos días, señor juez y comisionados. Mi nombre es Irma González. Soy líder de la organización Arise. Empiezo. Buenos días, señor juez y comisionados. Mi nombre es Irma González. Soy líder de la organización Arise y resido en la colonia Rivera Ranger, precinto 1. Y estoy aquí para pedirles que se inviertan fondos en la seguridad y bienestar de las familias asignadas, un mínimo de $500,000 para infraestructura de alumbrado público, que equivale a 0.23% menos del 1% del presupuesto anual del condado de Hidalgo. También queremos al menos 2 subdivisiones de cada precinto se alumbren por año, ya sean vecindades con o sin infraestructuras. Muchas gracias por su apoyo.
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. My name is Irma González. I'm leader of the organization Arise, and I live in the Colonia Rivera Ranch, precinct number 1. And I'm here to ask you to invest more funds for the safety and well-being of the families, assigning at least $500,000 for infrastructure of public lighting, which is 0.23%, less than 1% of the annual budget of the Hidalgo County. We also want that at least 2 subdivisions from each precinct be lighting up each year, whether they have infrastructure or not. Thank you very much for your support. Again, my name is Rubén Galván, and I'm here just to offer interpreting services in name of the Hidalgo County. Thank you.
concludes open forum, Judge.
Okay, do we have any closed items?
Yes, sir, we do. We do have a closed session.
Okay, pursuant to Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code, Sections 551.071, 551.072, and 551.04, we will be retiring to closed session to discuss those items. Any action items to be taken will be taken in open court. I have a motion to retire to closed session.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
When opposed, motion carries. Back from an executive session, are there any action items to take?
Item under open session, I'm sorry, 21, open session, 21A, real estate acquisition appropriation for same, there's no action to be taken today. 21B, pending and potential litigation, no action to be taken. 21C, duties evaluation of Irvine County Director, proceed as directed. 21D, duties and evaluation of Community Service Agents Director, proceed as directed. There is no need to go back to close or open session. And for the record, 20A, there's no action to be taken, and 20B, there is no action to be taken. And we have adjournment.
May I have a motion to adjourn?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.